Live from Austin, Texas, with host Rosie Newberry. Local trends, shopping, and more. This is Studio 512.
The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by the Health Alliance for Austin Musicians. As y'all know, the 20th annual Ham Day Music Festival is drawing closer. It's happening Tuesday, September 23rd, and we've got some local talent joining us this morning to help promote the event. It's DJ Kick It. DJ Kick It, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for already bringing so much energy. I told you off camera, with musicians, I know it's hard to get here before noon.
Oh, I'm here. I'm an early bird. Let's get it. Let's do it.
All right, let's talk about the Health Alliance for Austin Musicians and what it does to help our local community.
Man, I'll share you my story. I know that when I was laid off, the biggest worry that I had was finding health insurance. So learned about HAM through some of the folks here in the community. And HAM was so helpful for me because they even helped me get my first mammogram.
Wow.
And so as a 40 plus, I'm aging myself here, but 40 plus year old woman, I mean, that's super important. And honestly, like having HAM on my back and in my corner, it's one less thing to worry about. I can focus on the music, focus on delivering joy to people through these type of tunes. And man, HAM has just been in my corner every step of the way.
That is so amazing.
Yeah.
And you are a great example of what we heard from CEO Paul Scott earlier this week, which is it is musicians, yes, but it is also DJs. It is also music teachers.
Yep.
So it covers a wide range of folks. I want to talk about the actual festival day because it's coming up. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
How will you be participating this year?
So Tuesday, 23rd, 5:30 is going down at Antone's. I'm going to be putting it down with all the different type of DJ Kick It flavors. So after work, let your hair down, take them shoes off, and let's just boogie. Let's have a good time.
Literal kick it.
Literal, let's kick it. Yep, that's right.
All right, 5:30. That's perfect, y'all. Get off work, head to Antone's. You're going to be at the big place. I mean, that's going to be a rockin' area. Talk to me, if you wouldn't mind, about kind of your DJ style. What do you like to play around with? Are there any genres in particular that you're drawn to?
Absolutely. Once the headphones come on, I just have fun with music. So my style is very energetic, as you could see just in my voice. But when I'm playing, I can go from James Brown to maybe some of the piano riffs of Dolly Parton. And from there, I'm going to switch it to some Latin flavors, some Bad Bunny, some Beyonce. I'm going all over the place. And I'm also reading the crowd too. It's super important as a DJ to do that because if you're having fun, your peoples are having fun. So it's always good to look up and see what the crowd is vibing from. And then from there, I just take it and we all kick it. It's a big party.
Well, and I think that leads to the other thing that you do, which is that you are a keynote speaker as well. So again, you're reading crowds.
Yes, exactly. I'm trying to feed motivation to people, whether it's through music, my story, other people's story, because man, what a better time to do that than in today's world. I think we all need it. So,
Is there something you talk about in particular? It sounds like personal motivation is a big one for you.
Absolutely. I read a lot of self-help books, and for me, it's resiliency. Being an immigrant, a child of immigrant, obviously life has not been easy for me, but I've made it. And so I want to show that to whether it's kids that are at risk, adults that are still trying to find their purpose. Listen to me, it doesn't even have to come from me, but let me be that example that if I've gone through the things I've gone through, I'm able to make it in music. I know that you can make it there too. Let me help you. Let me be that one in the corner, even if it's just for that little bit of time that we're there together.
You hang out here more often.
I got you. You let me know.
This is fun.
We do segments with Kick It.
When you talk about resiliency, I always think about like when they talk about, for example, going to the gym. Be perfect. And if you can't be perfect, be consistent. If you can't be consistent, be resilient.
That's right.
Find a way to get yourself back up off the couch.
Absolutely.
And show up, even if it's just for a little bit.
Listen, not every day is going to be perfect. Not every day for me is perfect, but we show up anyway.
Yeah.
Because that's going to get us to the next level.
And in 2023, you started doing DJing full time. So tell me about where we can find you around town the rest of the year.
Yeah, please. I mean, definitely Tuesday. You got to come see me Tuesday at Antone's.
Drilling it down, 5:30 Antone's, Tuesday, September 23rd. But in addition to that.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely find me on Instagram. I'm at DJ Kick It 17. You can also find me on my website, djkickit.com. Also, another thing, I'm checking off a big bucket list with this one too, is on Sunday, I will be the DJ at the AFC Stadium. So it's a huge one for me. So please come out, come check us out. But definitely even more important, come and support Ham, y'all.
Yeah, Ham, big goals that we've got this year, $850,000.
Boom.
How much are we trying to raise in cash on the actual
I
day?
believe it's about $150K, y'all.
$150,000.
It's gotta be done.
It's gotta be done.
Let's do $200K.
That's what I said. Let's make it a cool mill. That's what I keep saying.
Let's do it.
Yeah, to the CEO, because that's just a nice round number, isn't it?
It goes back to all of us.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. That's how they know at Ham how many people they can help throughout the rest of the year, people like you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Every dollar you put in, man, it goes back to the musicians. And it's one less thing for us to worry about. We get to focus on the music, and Ham's got our back.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, where can people find out more a little bit about this year's Ham Day Music Festival? There's so many performances at so many venues, but they've got a little help for us online.
Absolutely. It's ham.org, or you can also find them on Instagram at ham. And I just found them recently on TikTok. So you can also find them on TikTok. Everybody's on their phones, so you can definitely find them there. Last year I did one at HEB. That was so much fun. Now we're taking it to Anto's, but there's gonna be so many people, HEB, downtown, everywhere. The city is gonna be lit.
Lit up for one day.
For one day.
And let's help support our local musicians, our DJs, our music teachers. Thank you so much,
thank
DJ
you.
Kick It.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a little
Gonna
kick for
kick
you.
it.
All right, go to djkickit.com to book them for your next party. And hey, we'll see you soon, because Studio 512 will be out at the steps of the Capitol live to celebrate Ham Day 2025. So stay tuned for more coverage. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by the Health Alliance for Austin Musicians. The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by Landers Premier Flooring. Are your floors stained, cracked, peeling, or maybe just from the 1970s? Maybe it's time to invest in some new floors. We've got Stephanie Landers of Landers Premier Flooring here to tell us a little bit more. And Stephanie, first question is, what makes y'all special besides the fact that you're a family-run business? You've been here decades.
20 years.
Yeah.
20 years, yes. We're a local Austin family-run business. I think the biggest thing is just our people. I mean, our people are fantastic. They have an average of 10 years experience in the floor covering industry. They're just consummate professionals when it comes to flooring, and they're here to help you pick out the best flooring.
What steps should someone take if they are considering new floors? Because I think the first thing, well, it's me. I'm a homeowner who's thinking, oh, these don't look so good anymore.
Right.
But it can be, to your point, a little bit overwhelming, a little bit daunting.
Right.
Do I even like the shade of this floor? What if it was transformed with a new design?
Exactly.
What should we do? What steps should we take?
Well, I think the first thing you should do is just come on into our showroom. We're in a convenient location in North Austin off of Burnett Road. And just come on in, or if you'd like, you can make an appointment. We also offer before and after hours appointments to fit with your schedule. But come on in, meet with your design consultant, talk to them about your lifestyle, your budget, what's important to you. Do you have pets? Do you have kids? How much maintenance do you want to do with your floor? Talk to them about those things, and they'll help guide you to the right products here in our showroom. But we have another fantastic tool called the Roomvo Visualizer that we love to use.
Yeah, actually, I gave you a picture of Studio 512.
Yeah.
We've got some cameras in the mix.
Yep.
But it gives us the option to see what our flooring would look like different.
And we're going to pick some fun flooring. We're going to change colors. We're going to do carpet patterns. We're going to take a look at what your studio could look like. So it offers us that ability. If you come in with a photo of your house, we can show you what the floors would look like. We can compare dark floors, light floors, but don't worry, even if you don't have a photo, there's stock photos we can use of bedrooms, living rooms, dining rooms, whatever, to kind of show you what the flooring can look like. It's really a fun thing to look at.
Let's talk about why it's so important to come into the store versus maybe scrolling around online or something like that.
I think online you just really don't get a good look at the coloration, and color is so important. It is a fashion decision in addition to an investment, but it's a fashion decision too. We're there to help you to maintain that investment in your home. We offer quality products, excellent installation, top-notch customer service, so you can really think of us like your safety net for preserving that investment in your home. We offer you a lifetime installation guarantee.
Very interesting information. Thank you so much for being so passionate about what you do,
Rosie.
Stephanie.
We love it. Thank you.
Visit the showroom in person or call to schedule a free consultation appointment at 512-873-9470. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by Landers Premier Flooring. Welcome back, everybody. We're already a month or so into the new school year. Are you already starting to run out of those old standbys when it comes to packing kids' lunches? You can maybe only do turkey and cheese and PB&J so many times. Savory chef at Abby Jane Bake Shop, Kimberly Krebs, is here to give us some inspiration. And really, I need this for my own lunch as well, because us adults in the working world, sometimes it's turkey and cheese and PB&J.
I know.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Tell us a little bit about Abby Jane Bake Shop, if you wouldn't mind just taking us from the top and what it is y'all offer. You said that there was a word that was going to come out of your mouth in the very first sentence, and that is stone ground flour.
Yes, so Abby Jane Bake Shop, we're right out in Dripping Springs, just right outside of Austin, so it's really not that far. And we specialize in creating pastries, sourdough artisanal breads, and lots of other things from stone milled flour, courtesy of our friends next door at Barton Springs Mill.
Oh, really cool. It's handy to have good neighbors like
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, it goes hand in hand.
Yeah. And I know sourdough is traditionally lower on gluten, so even if you have maybe something like celiac, my nephew does, it's possible you can consume something like sourdough.
So I'm not a doctor, I won't say anything about celiac, but for gluten intolerance, absolutely. So sourdough fermentation decreases some of that gluten content. And in addition to that, the stone milled flour, because it's a more minimally sort of processed thing, it's going to have higher nutrients and lower amounts of gluten-forming proteins because of the nature of the product.
When I think about this, the bread I buy at the store in comparison to like how gorgeous and dense and chocolatey even these breads look, I think, ooh, I need to be buying from a bakery. So we're going to learn a little bit more about you. And today we're actually kind of jazzing things up with a vegetarian approach to kids' sandwiches or kids' lunchboxes.
Right. So I know a lot of these condiments that we've got here are looking a little chefy because we do cater to kids and adults. But really, we just wanted to show you that vegetables do not have to be boring, especially when you're focusing on creating delicious condiments from things that you like, that you'll eat, and from things that you already have available around you.
Well, I love to hear that. Let's get into it. You've already sliced up. Is this just a traditional French baguette?
So yeah, it's our version of a French baguette. So this is going to be sort of a hybrid yeast and sourdough baguette. Delicious, got a blend of stone milled flours in there, and it's our favorite bread for a sandwich.
Okay.
Just because these holes, they capture condiments.
Oh,
and so you're gonna
clever.
get, more room, more bang for your buck when it comes to flavoring your entire sandwich.
That sounds good to me. Okay, and I'm looking at an array of things. Go ahead and walk me through it.
Alrighty, so let's start with the most familiar thing. So this is just mayonnaise that I've added some delicious things into. So I like cilantro, I added cilantro. We've got some roasted sweet Italian peppers in there, and I put some charred scallions in there as well. So since we're talking about kids' lunches, maybe your kids don't eat that, but this is a great way to sneak in extra flavor and vegetables that your kids might not notice. Anything that you want, you can just put in ready-made mayonnaise or make your own mayonnaise. Say you have like an infused oil in your cabinet that you don't know what to do with. You're tired of making...
I do.
Yeah. You're tired of making salad dressings with it. You can totally make an aioli or a mayonnaise with that infused oil, and then you've got your ready flavored condiment ready to go.
One side or both sides?
It's up to you. I am a two-side mayonnaise person.
I am a two-side mayonnaise person too, especially with all these yummy little holes where we're going to be capturing even more mayonnaise. And you can feel a little bit better about it as well, because as you just mentioned, there's at least 3 vegetables happening in there. So,
absolutely.
All right, so we're on both sides of the bread. Keep taking me through it here.
Okay, and so then from there, if you wanted to add another condiment, you could. The other 2 condiments I have here, I've got this green one is a chimichurri.
I love chimichurri.
Me too. So I've done it a little differently. Typically, chimichurri has red wine vinegar, a little bit of dried herbs like oregano, and then parsley and some red pepper flakes. I've done sort of a Texas version, so it's got fresh serranos. I put some basil and cilantro and parsley in there, and some fresh garlic. So it's sort of a fresher version of chimichurri that's
gonna give you a power punch of flavor though too. And then what do we have here?
So this is a pesto. So it's vegan, so I didn't add cheese like a traditional pesto would have.
I'm glad you're shouting out for the vegans.
Yeah, vegans are awesome. We love vegetables, and you can still eat vegan even if you aren't on a plant-based diet.
I was gonna say, I love a vegetarian sandwich from time to time, and that's just because sometimes it's nice to have the vegetables be a little bit more forward. So
Totally.
you as a savory chef would definitely know that.
Yeah, and so that's a chipotle pecan pesto. So in Texas, we love pecans. Throw them in there. I put basil, some chipotle in there so you get some smokiness. So that's it for our condiments. Mix and match as you like. And also, you can do the same thing I did with the mayonnaise with the vegan mayonnaise, and this would be 100% vegan.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, okay, 100% vegan, just one swap so far, which is
Exactly.
incredible. Okay, and now I'm seeing some vegetables which you say may not always be right for kids' palates, but maybe you've got an adventurous eater, one.
Yes.
And two, maybe we can convert them.
Yes. So my number one thing when people can't figure out how to eat more vegetables is oftentimes we forget that making things flavorful is about the way that you cook them. So right here I've got some calabacita or squash, which is if you have a summer garden, you probably have too much of it. It's also very readily available at the grocery store, and it's really affordable. And so if you cut it into planks like this and then use really aggressive heat, like on a pan or on your grill or even in the oven, the aggressive heat is going to give you that caramelization, which is flavor.
Yeah.
And also it keeps it with a little bit of texture, so you're not just getting like a really wet piece of squash.
Yeah.
It just makes it gives the sandwich body, and it's delicious.
Yeah, I absolutely love squash. I think I'm looking at mushrooms here, am
Yes,
I? Okay,
yes.
okay.
So
And
these
you're
are-
going to
yeah.
have to tell me how to apply these.
So you can how to apply them. So you can put as much as you want on there. What I've done with those is they're a garlic sautéed oyster mushroom.
So you have put love into basically every ingredient that's going in here.
Love, also known as flavor, yes. So I used some garlic oil to cook those oyster mushrooms in, and I also added more garlic. So these are for a garlic-loving child or adult. But you could flavor those or marinate them any way you like. And then these peppers that you've got going there are just some sweet Italian peppers that I just roasted. Again, aggressive high heat in the oven. It might feel scary to heat your oven up to 450 degrees in the summer.
You don't want it to be a kiln.
Right, but the flavor happens fast when you use that aggressive heat.
Okay. Yeah. And then topping off with a little what looks like arugula?
Arugula, use that weird box of salad greens you've got, or buy it fresh and use it delicious, farm fresh. But yeah, arugula is great because it has a snappy flavor. I like it because even though it's tender, it tends to sort of stand up over time, and it just adds another color.
You have so many interesting things to say about ingredients. We're going to have you back, Kimberly.
I'd love to come back.
Okay. All right. And then obviously they do sweet things as well, but we had the savory chef. We had to learn a little bit more today. Something to keep in mind, y'all, as you're making those lunches. Kimberly, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, learn more about weekly specials and everything available right now at abbyjanebakes.com. The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by Mother's Milk Bank at Austin. The mothers of preterm and sick infants are often those who are least likely to be able to provide milk for their babies, and it's the reason why Mother's Milk Bank at Austin was created. MMBA saves babies' lives by providing prescribed, pasteurized donor human milk, and Executive Director Kim Updegrove is here to tell us more. Kim, let's start by talking about the difference between a milk bank and community sharing of milk.
I'm glad you asked this question. So a milk bank is a formal organization. It's a nonprofit organization that screens moms who are healthy and lactating and producing more milk than their baby needs. They get to donate that milk, and the milk then is made safe for tiny, vulnerable infants. And those in particular are babies who are born very premature, so very small, small enough to fit in my hand, or they are born full term but with heart and stomach anomalies that lead them to be able to only tolerate human milk feedings. We are the place that makes that milk safe after it's been donated. Very different from community sharing.
Okay, it is incredible what you guys do for our community. And I know it's the largest milk bank in the United States, right?
That's true. So we didn't set out to be the largest, but it turns out that we've answered a lot of the science questions and a lot of the research, and so we serve the largest number of hospitals around the US. There are so many of these babies born every single year. 60,000 of them are under 3.5 pounds when they're born. so very fragile that only human milk can be fed to them.
I just want to make a call out to anybody who's watching this morning who might find themselves in this exact situation, in a position where they might be able to give a little extra from what they're giving their baby. What would you say to them to get the process started?
I would say that every healthy lactating mother needs to consider today whether she can put aside 1 or 2 ounces of milk today, put it in her freezer, and over the course of the month, she's going to have enough to go through the screening process and find out that she can be a lifesaver. No one regrets saving the life of a baby. Becoming a lifesaver is as easy as becoming a milk donor, and I am begging the community to consider becoming a donor today.
Such important information, Kim, and thank you for all you do for our community. We appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
Mother's Milk Bank at Austin needs your help. To show your support by donating milk, money, or time, go to milkbank.org. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by Mother's Milk Bank at Austin. Welcome back, folks. Chorus Austin is back for a brand new season called A Season of Unity with their opening concert titled Hope and Humanity. I like the sound of that. Joining us now is artistic director and conductor Ryan Heller, along with soprano chorus member Alyssa Kim, to tell us more. Y'all, we're happy to have you. Good morning.
Thanks. Good morning.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here. Alyssa, you're up first. Okay, what brought you to the chorus and what keeps you coming back? Because my understanding is you just tried out for your 3rd season in August, and now here we are.
Yeah. So I studied music in school. That was my degree in undergrad, and I joined the workforce and really was missing that music in my life. So after the pandemic, the bulk of it, I just wanted more music, and specifically creating music with others. I was taking solo lessons, but really creating music with other people is much more fulfilling than doing it kind of in a vacuum.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think the next thing that everybody's going to think, hearing that you have a background in this and a degree to boot, is this what the chorus is made of? Is people who have degrees in music?
We do have a pretty large spectrum of folks that are in the choir. We have people who have PhDs in vocal pedagogy, and then we have people who sing in their church choir or high school choir and try out, and they work well with the music, and they have an excellent ear, and they can kind of sing what we're singing and just be there and create part of the community that makes the chorus go round.
Oh,
what's really neat is we have 18 to 82-year-olds.
Really?
In the choir.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a great spectrum of age, ability, experience, everything.
Well, that's convenient because I was going to ask you to brag on your choir
for
just a second, if you would.
100%, absolutely. The symphonic chorus, which is about 180 voices strong.
That's a lot of voices.
Yes, from high school graduates to working professionals, retirees, everything in between. Everyone on the spectrum of profession, the thing that brings us together is their love of making music, and their commitment to doing it at the highest possible level. Everyone brings their A game, whatever that might look like, for themselves, and they're committed to just kind of putting more beauty and hope into the world,
that's
which
really
is
wonderful.
something I love to brag about.
I bet, yeah. And the 180 voices are the big choir that if you try out, you can get into. But there's also a slightly more elite group that I will say Alyssa is in as well.
That's right.
Will you tell me a little bit more about that, Ryan?
Yeah, of course. So we have our symphonic choir, that's the large 180 voice choir, and then our chamber ensemble, that's 32 voices. It's a bit more rigorous of an audition, right? So our audition process, we like to think, is pretty easy, generally, right? Kind of friendly.
For people who are good at singing, yes.
And all of that. And then if you're interested in the smaller ensemble that, is going to be working a bit harder, has more demands on their own time and preparation, right? Then they're expected to do a bit more of that too. So we put them through their paces, and then every year they have to re-audition.
Gotcha, okay. I want to ask about what it's like to be in that huge group, Alyssa, versus those 32 voices where I know you're going to be able to pick out, hey, I can hear Mike right now. Hey, I can hear, you have more access to seeing each other, hearing each other blend well together, whereas 180 people has a lot to fit into a single room. So tell me about the difference between those two for you who experiences it.
Yeah, I mean, I think one beautiful thing about the way that Ryan puts together the roster each year for our smaller group for the chamber choir is that there is so much thought put into how do these voices work together, especially in such a small setting. There's just so much like intention and thought put through to how do these people sound? How do their timbres match together for the rep that we're doing for chamber choir? So I love that about the smaller group. In the larger group, I mean, I think the largest difference is probably the rep that we do. You know, we work with the Austin Symphony Orchestra for some of the choral repertoire that we do, and we often will be more accompanied, whereas the smaller group is often a cappella, new music, living artists, which I think is another wonderful thing about the way that Ryan creates the set lists for the season and, you know, the several years ahead that he probably has sitting in his head.
Back pocket.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it's also about, you know, sitting with different people and being next to different groups, as well as like our configuration of voices really just creates kind of a movement of sound that is just so different, varied between the two to experience it.
Yeah, and so powerful. So I'm glad you did a little bragging on Ryan because clearly it's gone both ways. And Ryan, I want to ask about this season. We're kicking off 2025-2026.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the pieces that you've chosen for your first concert and why you picked them.
Absolutely. So Hope and Humanity, which is our opening concert of the season, this was inspired about 1.5 years ago, just, you know, as the voices of division were getting louder and louder. And we kind of just talked among the team and said, what can we do, right, that will bring people together? So we were looking at all kinds of rep, as Alyssa said. And for the big choir, we said, well, let's explore a couple of themes. One, that there's still hope, that there's still beauty, right? So there's a piece that Leonard Bernstein, one of the great conductors and composers of the 20th century, wrote called the Chichester Psalms, which is performed entirely in Hebrew.
Wow.
And it's a setting of 6 different psalms or excerpts of them for orchestra and choir. And in the middle movement is one of the most beautiful things ever written. And it's a countertenor solo and choir. And we have this gorgeous countertenor in the Chorus Austin family named Hunter Sabin. It's a male voice that sings really, really high.
Okay,
like
thank you.
where Alyssa's register would be. Yeah, just like the highest possible sound, you know.
Wow.
But being produced by that, it's a different color.
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
So it's just gorgeous. And then we paired that with a work called Dona Nobis Pacem, which is Grant Us Peace, by Vaughan Williams, and it is a setting of Walt Whitman poetry. Bible verses and political speeches from Parliament members in England. That's kind of an anti-war, you know, how much drum beating and bugle calling is there going to be to get people, you know, going before we kind of just take a look around and say, hey, you know, this person is just as meaningful as I am. And it gives us a lot to reflect on. And we're joined by 2 beautiful soloists for that too, Danielle Talamontes and Carrie Wilkerson, who just moved from the East Coast to Texas.
And it sounds like it's a get.
Yeah, it's tremendous.
All right, for Chorus Austin. I love talking to you guys about this because you both are so passionate about this topic, but we'll have to leave it there. So what I'm going to say is break a leg.
Thank you so much.
Of course, we appreciate it. For more information on the Hope and Humanity concert, some really cool pieces there, visit chorusaustin.org or follow them on social media at chorus.austin. The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by Swift River Pecans, LLC. High-quality pecans and Texas wood with character. We're learning more today about Swift River Pecans, LLC with Troy Swift, who's here to tell us about his orchard, sawmill, and retail store on site in Fentress, Texas, which is between San Marcos and Luling. We're excited to talk to you, Troy. The very first thing that we're going to do is go from the ground up.
Okay.
Talk to us about your farming practices.
Well, while I started as a conventional farmer, due to environmental reasons and economic reasons, we decided to change our management style to regenerative agriculture. And what that allows us to do is use more natural farming techniques and more natural materials, which makes us less dependent on commercial fertilizers and other chemicals such as herbicides, which we've completely eliminated. But it does more than that. It conserves water quality, it conserves water in the soil. All the animals and insects and birds, arthropods of all sorts, want to live in your orchard just like I do. In today's world, when we get up in the morning and decide what we're going to do on the farm, instead of saying, what are we going to go out and kill, today we get up and say, what are we going to go out and help live? Because we want to grow a healthy food.
Let's talk about how pecans are measured for quality, because you have different measurements that you do in order to say, okay, these are the highest quality things we can offer.
We have a lot of different varieties. There's some simple things like how big are they, how many nuts per pound, so that's one thing. So the other way they're graded is how they look. Are they shaped properly? Is the color good? How golden is the kernel?
Of course, lots of pecan things to eat and to see around here, but let's talk about the other side of that, the pecan trees. Let's talk about the services that you provide as far as trees are concerned.
So we harvest those big logs and saw them on our sawmills, kiln dry them. We can do very big pieces of wood, and we have very big kilns and very big saws. We can saw logs up to 65 inches in diameter.
I do want to say to maybe somebody who's watching, they haven't been out here before, they didn't know that this little gym existed. What would you say? Come on down and get an education.
Oh yeah, come down. We're open 9 to 5 every day except Sundays. We'll give you a tour of the shop. And if you make arrangements in advance, we can even give you a tour of the orchard. So a lot of people do that.
We really appreciate your time today, Troy. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Working with Mother Nature to grow the best pecans money can buy. Learn more at swiftriverpecans.com. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by Swift River Pecans, LLC. Welcome back. She is a fitness expert and she's here to make starting your own health journey easier. Ashley King joins us now in the studio along with her model and friend Bonnie, who's going to be helping us out for the day. Ashley, good morning.
Good morning.
Lovely
so excited
to
be
see
here.
Yeah, it's been a long time. So long-time viewers of Studio 512 might right now be thinking, oh my gosh, I know her.
Yes.
Because you were on even with my predecessor, Amanda Tatum.
Yes.
We took a little trip out, but we've come back to Texas. Is that right?
Where I love it. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be back here.
So we're getting reestablished, which is awesome. I know that this is a lot to boil down into a few seconds, but I do want to ask about your fitness journey and what got it kicked off. Was it early on in life, or was it a little later?
Okay. Yeah, I went through a sobriety journey really early, like 22 years old, and I just made fitness my passion. I needed a good vice to take up. So I just dove right into the, health and fitness realm, and it just became my business too. And I think that's why I've kind of flourished and done really well, is because it's just a true passion for me.
Absolutely, and you're so bubbly about it.
Yes.
And that's not always the way people feel about working out, so I feel like that helps.
I try to make it fun because I feel like that's how you're going to stick to it. Don't make it something that you don't look forward to, and I bring that to my clients. So I think that's why I enjoy it the most.
Yeah, let's talk about somebody who maybe has let health go by the wayside, especially when we think about everybody had a busy summer. We're kind of locking back in for the school year. This is where we can get more of a routine.
Yes.
But maybe you haven't been to the gym in a couple months or a couple of years. How do you help people get started, get up off the couch and start moving again?
Well, just start slow. Don't make something too daunting, too crazy. Just start slow, and any little bit of movement is going to help you get back into that process, that journey, and make it sustainable as well. Yeah. Don't make it seem too much of a huge task, because you just need to start moving. That's it.
Yeah, I went to a workout class to do exactly that, and I got so sore I couldn't move for like 5 days afterwards. I was like, I hated this.
I actually explain that to my clients. I'm like, don't worry, when we get started, I'm not going to kill you right off the bat. We're going to slowly increase. And that way you kind of don't feel like you're going to be feeling like you're hurt the next day too much, and you want to stick to it.
You want to show back up. Okay, Bonnie, I'm going to have you come around because I want to make sure we see a couple of at-home training exercises. You've got in and out squats for Bonnie going first.
All right, so when she comes down towards the middle, she's going to make sure all the weight is in her glutes. That's going to really target the hamstrings and glutes, which is a big problem area for women. I train a lot of women. And when she comes out, that's also going to be targeting the glutes. She makes sure that her upper chest level is up,
And that way she kind of keeps her balance and she's working the right muscles here.
Gotcha. So the in and out is the feet going in and
Yes,
out. Okay.
exactly.
Yeah, it's always harder to do it with your feet together, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
The farther apart you can do the squat, you get a,
So you get a little lower,
easier.
yeah.
Exactly. Okay, let's see some tucks. This is on the groundwork, right?
She's going to be doing some abs. So while she's doing these, she's going nice and slow. She's engaging her abs. She's keeping her distance in line of eyesight up. That ensures that she's not going to hurt her neck. And like every exercise I do it slow and controlled, so she's engaging every single part of the muscles in the right muscles.
Mm-hmm. And importantly, you have lower key, easier versions, lower impact options.
So she's
going to
come down and she's going to do a crunch. Now the biggest thing with crunches is she's not coming up with her neck, she's coming up with her abs, she's squeezing. And that way she's kind of engaging the right muscles, right? And she's not straining her neck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to hold there because you can otherwise
nice, slow pauses.
Pull with your neck, and that's not going to help you. All right, and then the last one, we're working you hard, Bonnie. All right, it's the bicep to front press. What
we
is
got
this?
a twofer here. We're going to be working our biceps. So it's a hammer curl to front press. Look how amazing she looks.
Yeah, she does look fabulous.
Yes, nice and slow, controlled movement. See how she's completing the movement and then moving into the next movement.
And not swinging.
Yes,
yeah.
That's the biggest thing. That's why I say slow, controlled movements and making sure that you are using the actual muscles and not momentum.
Okay, Bonnie, thank you so much. You did great. We'll have you join us back over here. And how many reps would you suggest on all three of those exercises that we just
start
saw?
with a weight that is comfortable to you, and usually between 8 to 12 reps I think would be good. I typically do about 3 rounds of every exercise.
All right, get us started, get us up off the couch. We appreciate your time today,
Absolutely.
Ashley. Great job, Bonnie. Thank you so much. To get started training with Ashley, follow her on social media at Ashley King Fitness. She can come to you.
Hey, we are happy to be able to offer you some help if you're out there searching for jobs. KXAN has partnered with ZipRecruiter to help you find thousands of job openings in Austin and around the country. Just go to kxan.com/jobs where you can search thousands of new postings every single day. Check it out right now and get started on the path to your next career.
Content segments during Studio 512 were paid for by Landers Premier Flooring, Mother's Milk Bank at Austin, Swift River Pecans, and Serenity Mental Health Centers.